Ugh. Hey, evening, folks. Marcus is currently hunting deer, and he has 5 of them right now in his sights. So Marcus had to jump real quick before we hit record. So we get a treat tonight of just it's me and special guest Quint Boyd, who actually knows about ball. And I'm so excited because I was going to give Marcus a shout out about talking about putting Trayvon inside, and now these rushes that Trayvon and Josh are getting are so good. Quint, all season long, I've been negative Nancy going, Trevor sucks. I was one of the haters, which in
Yeah.
my defense, he wasn't playing well. So, but Quint, you always were like, they have to catch the ball. He's seeing it. It's just circumstantial play here and there. And I think you've been proven correct. Will you please, for me, reflect on Trevor since the bye week?
Yeah, it feels great. It feels great to be right. I usually am. No, I'm kidding. But
No,
I
you are.
appreciate the shout out. I'm gonna do my best to fill in for Marcus and be the delusional 17-0 Jaguars fan that we know and love him to be. But yeah,
Yeah.
Trevor since the bye, it's really interesting. It's kind of like a mix of we're getting guys back healthy, even though we lost Travis, but then we're getting guys in the right position. Because if you look at BTJ, he's not good at catching the ball, coming back to the ball. If he's coming back to the ball, if it's an intermediate route over the middle, he's going to drop it. He's really comfortable catching it over his shoulder, which is why all you're seeing him do now is running straight down the field or doing these little outbreaking routes towards the sideline because he can just catch comfortably out in front of him without having to come back towards the ball. So that's something I've
Ah.
noticed that they've just put him into his wheelhouse. And then the Parker Washington and Trevor Lawrence connection is
Oh,
just insane. And we've been hearing about it and seeing it ever since camp. Like Parker Washington making ridiculous, congested one-on-one catches over the middle with somebody strapped on him. And then obviously Jacoby Myers, because he's just simply catching the ball. Every single week you see him catch the ball and get lit up or wiggle his way out of a big hit. And it's like bang, bang, catch, gets hit, but he just makes them. And Trevor trusts him so quickly, which is incredible because they clicked after what, 2 weeks?
yeah. I mean, he was almost plug and play, and I think that's exactly what they were shooting for. I you know, one thing that I hear I listen to a guy, John Middlecoff, and he used to be a scout in the NFL, and he always talks about like it, players can get better. And I feel like on the Jags, Parker Washington has gotten better over the last 3 years. Monteric Brown has gotten better. Like, we have guys that have actually gotten better. And so we're in this awesome but unfortunate spot where it's like, okay, well, we can't keep everybody, and everybody's talking about who do we keep, who do we let go? But it's like, they actually got better.
Yeah.
It's kind of rare.
It's it's crazy. And honestly, it makes sense. And maybe we owe Balky a bit of an apology. Maybe Balky
He's sneaky good
was
drafter.
maybe Balky was the guy. And we were hating on
Yeah,
Balky this whole time. But I mean, it's
right.
so obvious, Ethan, but it was right in our face. But this is a development and quarterback league. If you look at all the
Yes.
teams that have been great or have been sustained great for a long time, like look at the Patriots. They were great at developing players. Julian
Yeah,
Edelman was there forever before he was a guy.
yeah.
Gronk came along over the course of years. Tom Brady came along over the course of years. You look at programs like the Green Bay Packers, who have just been consistently pretty good and competitive. They are
Hmm.
known for drafting and building up players. That's what they believe
Yeah,
in.
they don't do
And
free
that's
agents. Yeah.
yeah, that's what the Rams are doing with McVay. Like they're getting guys in and they are drafting them and they're building them up. I think maybe we got too caught up with they're great NFL players. Let's just get a coach in here and let them go do what they do. But this new coaching staff is breaking them down from like 101. Look at Trevor fixing his foot stance, making sure his steps are consistent with the drop, with the reads, with the progressions, breaking every player down from beginning to end. And that's where you see Trevor balling. You see our safety balling. What's his name? Antonio Johnson or
Antonio
something?
Johnson. Yeah,
Nuts. Nuts.
another
We thought he
balky
was a
pick.
bust. Devin Lloyd,
Yeah,
balling. So all
yeah.
these guys are actually getting developed and poured into. And obviously they're being receptive of it. They're good team players. So it's a super exciting time to be a Duval fan because we have a roster and we have a coach that actually wants to develop these guys.
For sure. I mean, my quick 2 cents for the people who at work, it's a fun thing that I'm the Jaguar fan, and like so everybody at work is also a Jaguar fan because they're all rooting for me and the Jaguars. And like my quick 2 cents I give them is I go, for years we were picking in the top.
Mhm.
We had the one year the playoff win, which was great. So then but even that year we drafted Anton Harrison and Brenton Strange.
Mhm.
So there's 2 starters right there, and if you get 2 starters out of a draft, that's a good draft. I mean, that's pretty good, and 2 decently high end starters. I mean, a lot of teams would like to have those two, but what I told somebody is for years we were drafting very high, and we were drafting a lot of traits, and what I'm kind of seeing is a coaching staff that's putting those traits and marrying the two of the upstairs and the traits. Where
Mhm.
you see a guy like Antonio Johnson, who, I mean, you look at him, he's a few chicken breasts away from like an outside linebacker. Like he's a thick dude, and I know
Yeah,
that's hyperbolic, but he's a big dude.
yeah,
That's a bulky pick. Trayvon Walker, look what he's got going on. Bryant's like all these different guys that bulky has finally gotten, and it's like it feels like Liam and Camp. And one thing I do want to ask you about is what does Grant Udinski do? But like I don't know what an offensive coordinator does when the head coach is so heavy on the offense. Like I'm sure it's like things, but I don't know.
right.
But I'm seeing the marriage of the traits with now the football acumen and IQ. And I think
Oh, yeah.
the easiest one to point to is Antonio Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Antonio Johnson, then BTJ is another great example because you saw him looking pretty abysmal, and now he's a pretty solid role player for us, and that's probably
Yes.
what he's gonna be. He's our deep guy. He's our speed guy. That's what he is. He catches balls breaking to the sideline or coming across the field or going deep. So you see it with Johnson, you see it with BTJ, and it's funny because it makes perfect sense. You look at Urban Meyer, he was never a developer. He was a recruiter in college. He just
Hmm.
recruited the best high school players who would just go dog on these other 0 stars. Then you
Right.
look at Doug Peterson, he would always talk about the system, the system, the system, right? Like, "Oh, they're not running the plays right." He would come out and say
Right.
that in pressers.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what you've heard from Liam Cohen and staff is, "Hey, we gotta get these guys in positions to play to their strengths." And you see that with Trayvon Walker, moving him inside. You see that with
Yeah.
BTJ, getting him running vertically again. You see that with Johnson,
Yeah.
sending him up the win. So they are willing to adapt their system and get guys in the right places to win now instead of pointing fingers like a lot of coaches do, which is mind-boggling because we're all adults
Yeah.
here, you know?
Yeah, I think I had a realization about Doug Peterson, who is objectively a good coach. I mean, he won a Super Bowl. I mean,
Mhm.
if I wouldn't be surprised if he's on TV eventually, maybe on like one of those kickoff shows or something, or like a special guest on one of those networks. Like he's bright, smart, and then how many stories would does he have from that Super Bowl year and just in Philadelphia in general? Like I think he's gonna stay in football forever. But Doug was kind of this old school. I had this realization. He was too realistic. And what I mean by that is, after we won that playoff game, I saw an interview of him at the combine, and the guy was asking him, "Man, when you got to Jacksonville, did you think that winning a playoff game was even realistic?" And he said, when I got here, I thought, man, we can win probably maybe 7 if we can get 7 wins. And I'm thinking, like, that's too realistic. I think Liam
Yeah.
Cohen is like nuts upstairs in a way where he's like, no, the plan is to win 13 games in the Super Bowl, like
Yeah.
minimum. Like,
Yeah.
like that you have to trick yourself. Where I think Doug was just you have these really young team, big athletic dudes, and he was too realistic with just like, yeah, they're not executing very well. And it's like
Yeah.
it's just a different era where Liam has just ushered in with like Liam feels very like Dabo Sweeney, like Dabo at Clemson. He and Trevor won a national championship and nearly won 2 more.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's kind of this change that's happened.
It's the standards. Doug
Yeah.
Peterson just kinda like, "Ah, whatever," you know? And Liam Cohen has standards, and you heard about it. He challenged Trevor from day one to change some things, and then you heard about it a lot with Antoine Harrison. He was always
Yeah.
saying, "We need him to strain," and we've been challenging him to get after and strain, and he can be a great player. But I remember early on, everybody was like, "What's it like having Antoine Harrison?" You expect him to hype him up. He's like, "Hey, like, that guy's gotta strain a little bit more." And if
He was
he's
like, he's
saying
not
that
playing
to the
well.
public if he's
Yeah.
saying that to the public press, you know he's saying that to him behind closed doors in the meeting room. So he is holding these guys to a standard, and that standard is very similar probably to what he experienced at the Rams, and that's obviously a winning standard.
Oh man, you can see like, and he is always giving credit to Sean McVay and what he learned at the
Mhm,
Rams. And I mean, it's it feels so good. And us in Chicago are in these similar points where we're probably ahead of schedule, all things considered. The coaching staffs are getting every bit of talent and win out of this roster possible. Like it, theoretically, this should be the worst the Jaguars are for years to come. 26 years old? He's
yeah,
2 months older than Bo Nix. So in theory, it's like we have baked in the cake, like if
oh
all
yeah,
things go okay, a decade.
yeah,
Liam and Trevor, but then we thought the same thing with Doug, his first year. But no, it's this new era of football that I think, and guess what? When our coordinators get poached, that's okay. It's gonna be okay because it's
Mhm,
Liam. Liam's the
mhm,
brain behind all of it.
mhm. Yeah, we got the right guy at head coach, which is massive, and I think we have the right
Massive.
guy at GM. We obviously have the right guy at Baselli, and that's what you see a lot of winning organizations have, top down, owner to back office, GMs, VPs to coaching staff. They're all on the same
Yeah.
page. That's being perfect alignment. And that's something you saw with Balky and Doug Peterson was Balky just getting bulky guys instead of getting guys that fit Doug's scheme. You
Yeah.
have to know that Liam is sitting down with James and Gladstone, those guys, and saying, "Hey, like, this is our scheme. This is the type of wide receivers we're looking for. This type of tackles we're looking for." And then Gladstone's going out and getting those guys quickly and
Yeah.
efficiently. It's crazy. I mean, our roster going into training camp and coming out, I think it was a 53% turnover year over year. So from the end of last year to the beginning of this year, they cut and replaced half the roster.
Mhm.
People don't really
Yeah.
remember that. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of core stable guys, but also we completely turned over the team in the offseason.
Yeah, and, one thing I really like about the staff is that they're not afraid to, it felt like sometimes the previous staff would like insist on guys on the roster. Like they would go, no, Brandon Scherf is really good. And I would go, I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure he's got a lot of ball knowledge, but
Mhm.
he looks like a guy pushing 40 trying to block a 24-year-old. Like it's
Yeah.
like, whereas these guys go like Walker Little, Cole Van Lannon, you're in and you're staying in now, and Walker, we're gonna have you kind of now be our swing guy, and they adapt. And De'Ami Brown, you dropped a couple touchdowns, but whatever happened with you, you're not fitting the role right now.
Yeah.
We're bumping you down to wide receiver 5, which by the way, it's a pretty good wide receiver 5, but
Yeah.
they go, Trevor's has a relationship with Parker. We're going to feature Parker more. And I'm so glad you pointed out the Brian Thomas thing because now that you said it, oh yeah. And you know what? Something else about Brian Thomas that he doesn't get enough credit for? He blocks.
He
He
does.
throws dudes.
Yeah. No, all of our receivers block, and that's part of the system. You're not gonna be within our roster and within our team if you're not part of the system. That's why we got rid of Evan Ingram. He's not that mean mauler tight end.
Yeah.
Britton Strange is a clinical psychopath who can also go catch
Yeah.
passes and make
Yeah.
plays in the open field. But it starts with him. It's all run game. And I mentioned this at the very, very beginning when we hired Liam Cohen. It's all about the run, and the run sets up the pass because it all looks the same. It's the same scheme. This tight end is destroying you play after play after play after play. Then all of a sudden he takes his first few steps like he's about to destroy you again, and then he slips that and goes and gets a 20-yard, crossing gain. Evan Ingram would not have fit that. So you're spot on. Like not only are they making quick changes, but they're even moving off of guys that didn't work out, like
Yeah.
Brown, immediately. It's like, hey, we brought you in, didn't work out, cool. We're gonna keep rolling.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. Just speed and decisiveness and then committing to what you're doing. And these guys are all on the same page. It's a beautiful thing to watch, just from like an organization standpoint,
Yeah.
seeing how lockstep these guys are. It's impressive.
Yeah. One thing, when we weren't playing well, after that Rams game, all the penalties, I think it was Colin Cowherd, he floated like, I've never seen a Jaguar team that's buttoned up. And he goes, it's kind of the same thing with Miami, kind of the same thing with Tampa Bay, where he's like, for
Mhm.
Tampa Bay, it took Brady or John Gruden to button them up. And it's almost too chill. The beach, good food, like a bunch of young, good-looking, rich guys, and a lot of good-looking people in the towns. But it's a massive culture change, and it
Yeah.
wasn't a Brady or a Gruden that did it. It was Liam Cohen. Like,
It was a
it,
Rhode Island boy. It was a
yeah,
Northeastern boy. So
yeah.
maybe that's the secret, but
It's amazing to watch. And what also is amazing is we're doing all of it without arguably the best. Well, Jordan Lewis is gone, which
Mhm.
unfortunately he's been awesome. But Travis Hunter is the best coverage corner still on the team. And I keep forgetting
Mhm.
he's on the team.
Me too. Me too.
Do you think he's going to play both ways when he comes back?
At the expense of who is the question. I mean, if he wants to go be our deep guy, like BTJ, but he's not really a burner. That's not really his game. Maybe he could just because he wins 50-50 balls, but I mean, are you going to take Parker Washington out? You're going to take away snaps there? That's Trevor's safety blanket. That dude makes contested catches all day.
That Chiefs game, yeah,
Jacoby all day. That Chiefs game was insane. That's really where
yeah,
you saw and a man eyes on Parker Washington. That's where Trevor's going. Because that was the first
yeah,
team that really went after us from a man standpoint.
yeah.
Jacoby Myers, we just signed him to a pretty hefty extension, so he's going to get his play time. I mean, maybe you
26th highest
shuffle
paid
him in there.
receiver in the league. I think I saw the numbers. 26th highest paid
Yeah,
receiver. I think that's a good deal.
yeah, and we play a lot of 12 personnel and a lot of tight end personnel, which obviously
Yeah,
takes receiver off the field. So I don't know where Travis fits in on the offensive side. I really don't. I think he's going to
I
be a gimmicky guy maybe, and then you're our all-pro perennial corner, I
I hope
think.
to God it's just let's just rip the Band-Aid off, except that we probably should have stayed put and taken Membu or Tyler Warren or something, but you know what? Throw him in that corner and shut down half the field, and you know
Mhm,
what? If a receiver goes down, great, Travis can play a little receiver too. Speaking of receiver, the Jacoby Myers thing was such a turning point, and
mhm,
you get a Tim Patrick, Jacoby Myers, just these pros in the right spot, catch the football, like, do the dirty work, everything. What does that do to a Brian Thomas? I think Parker Washington was already wired this way, just given
mhm,
like he's gotten better every single year by a lot.
mhm.
Whereas Brian, I wonder if it's like he's been better than everybody forever up until this point. And like what I wonder is, did Jacoby and Tim Patrick go like, "Yo, dude, you are bigger, faster, stronger than both of us. It's up here. It's the
Mhm.
details. It's the little things. Like here's how we got to where we are. Like, does BTJ learn stuff from them like that?
I would hope so, and that's why we were excited when we brought in, what's his name, Allen in the first place, because he was an older
Yeah,
veteran in that room. Because we were talking about at the very beginning of the season, we have no veterans in that room, and then you
right.
bring in Jacoby Myers, a guy who's actually a proven veteran, multiple thousand-yard, or thousand-yard seasons. I'm pretty sure he's
Yeah,
been to a Pro Bowl or so. So then you get a guy who comes in here and just shows you how to prepare, the level of detail, how he communicates with the quarterback. So BTJ, his peer is Parker Washington. He's not going to look up to him as much, but he would look up to a Jacoby Myers who has actually performed at a high level in the league for a while. So,
undrafted quarterback. Like
yeah, crazy.
yeah,
And that's
it's crazy.
something that Liam Combs said is just his preparation, how he communicates with Liam and how he prepares. Wow, I can't speak tonight. How he
Preppers.
prepares with Trevor Lawrence as well. Just that level of
Yeah.
preparation and communication with those two guys.
Yeah. I tell you what, I saw this going around too. We have the number 1 rush defense in the NFL. For some reason, I, like, don't believe that. I don't know why. I just, like but I guess, I saw Liam talking about even the running backs they played. He goes, "Well, that's also with Jonathan Taylor twice, Christian McCaffrey. Nobody's gone over 75 yards rushing." Uh, I'm like, "Okay, I guess we do." Like, at the beginning of the year, Josh Hines Allen was like, Devon Hamilton's the best nose tackle in the league. And he's certainly not, but that's a stat. That's a Devon Hamilton. Is that a Devon Hamilton stat? Or it's just the interior, their D line in general? Is it Devin Lloyd and Foye? I mean, it feels like the front seven, too, is like, oh, like they look good.
We have a pretty menacing D line. Like Josh Hines
Yeah.
Allen, yes, he gets a lot of pressures, but he's also very involved in the run game. He's not lazy at all. Same thing with Walker. Walker's a menace. So you have these two Greek god looking guys on the edge, or
Oh,
sometimes on the same side of the field, and
like
you're like,
made in a lab, guys. Yeah.
then you got Hamilton in the middle, and Campanelli said nothing but incredible things about him doing the ugly stuff. The guys in the
Yeah.
middle, if he's doing his job amazingly, it's because he's taking up two guys and not getting moved off the ball. So he's quite
Hmm.
literally going 2-on-1 and not budging. And that's him
Yeah.
being amazing, right? And then obviously you have freaks like Lloyd and Foye there to fill and make plays. And then the other thing you can't forget is that we're a heavy shell zone defense, meaning our nickels have eyes on the quarterback, our corners have eyes, our safeties have eyes, which means they're going to see that running back getting out of the backfield, break and make a tackle before it comes a 10, 15, 20-yard run. It's like a 5-yard run. So we do give up 3 and 5-yard runs, but we don't really give up the big one very often, except for that one with RJ Harvey against the Broncos.
Yeah, I think Bucky Brooks said this. Like Campanelli's defense style is he's like, you might get into the red zone, you might get onto the 30, but you're gonna get 3 and not 7. Is kind of
Mhm.
like how Campanelli likes to do it, where it's the like you said, like some shell and a lot of turnovers happen because of it, because everyone's got eyes on the quarterback, and
Yeah.
doing all this with again Monteric Brown and
Mhm.
I'm drawing a blank on literally everyone else for some reason, but like that's the thing is I'm like, who are our corners again? Like,
Yeah. But
this is
like
amazing.
Darian Jones is balling out. Monteric Brown is balling out. I can't even think of the other corner right now either, which is
Yeah,
insane.
Christian Braswell gets reps out there. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is Campanelli is going to get poached. I mean, he's going to be a
Yeah.
head coach. The
It's
what
Greg
he's
Newsome.
doing with these
We'll take that.
guys, yeah, and Greg Newsome, yeah. Okay, well, he's pretty good,
Yeah.
but he wasn't at the beginning. But like,
No.
Camp gets him going, and it's like he's been here for a couple months, and he's going.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch.
And they're getting
I
guys
tell
who
you
fit
what,
the scheme, and they're truly coaching and developing. Like, it just comes down to that. It's that simple.
yeah. I I don't remember who's up for contract extensions or what, but something that I see is like, who are we keeping? Who would you let go? It's hard to imagine. I would be sick to my stomach if it's three guys. I'd be sick. Devin Lloyd, Parker Washington, and Brenton Strange. I would throw up if I saw them in a different uniform next season. I'd throw up.
Yeah.
But
I don't think they'll be going anywhere.
but
I don't think.
how much money does Devin Lloyd want? He's going to go into that negotiation room and just show replays of the 100-yard pick six against the Chiefs and go,
He's got 5 interceptions, which is like top 5 in the NFL, and he's a
it's
linebacker.
disgusting.
It's
And
crazy.
Pookie Washington is gonna show the
Yeah.
3 punt returns. One of them got called back, but he's gonna be like, "It still happened."
Mhm,
And, the 150 he put on Denver,
mhm.
yeah, I mean, he did the same thing twice in that Denver game. Do you
Yeah,
remember this? Like, they did the same thing again, and I remember on the
mhm.
commentary, they're like, "Well, it worked again, just do it again, why not?"
Yeah.
Like, I love Parker Washington. Like,
He's a glue guy.
I love him.
He's a culture guy,
Same
and
thing with Brenton Strange.
yeah,
Yes.
'cause they're just tough. They do both. They're tough, they're nasty, they get after it, and then they go make plays, and Trevor trusts them.
Yeah.
If you look at and I
Yes.
mentioned this, and I caught some flack on it from Twitter. I said, "BTJ is officially the 5th option in Jacksonville," and everyone's like, "No freaking
Yeah.
way." He is the 5th option in Jacksonville. Trevor trusts Jacoby, Parker Washington, ETN, and Strange above him, and once again, Travis Hunter's not there. So, really, he'd
Also,
be the
ETN
6th.
out of the backfield. Did you say
Yeah,
ETN out of the
yeah,
backfield? I think he'd check it. He loves to check it down to
yeah.
ETN. By the way,
So,
ETN, my
if
goodness,
BTJ, 6'4", you know, 4.3 40 time is your 5th or 6th option, you got some weapons in there. So, it's a really
and
exciting offense.
yeah, BTJ is just for me. He's just screaming like, if we can get going in these playoffs, it's going to be
Yeah,
the kind of thing where it's going to be a lot of Parker, Jacoby, Brenton Strange, and then you're going to look up and BTJ is going to rip an 80-yarder or whatever
yeah,
it is, like just
and
rip one, and they're going to go, shoot, we forgot about him. I
yeah.
um
And
yeah,
Buffalo,
I mean,
they're the 31st run defense in the league, so might be ETN kinda day here in Jacksonville.
and
And then
they
Trevor. We
technically
haven't really
have
even go ahead.
yeah. I was gonna say they technically have the best pass defense in the league, but somebody said it's just because everyone runs. There's not much passing really going on, that you just run on them.
And
Or
look at the
what was
quarterback.
it?
Look at
Yeah,
the quarterbacks.
right.
They played Tua and whoever the Jets quarterback was.
Quinn
Oh, I
Ewers, the
mean,
Jets, they got the Dolphins and the Jets twice. They split with the Patriots, but oh god, the Houston defense nearly hurt Josh Allen in bad ways that night. I mean, they've yeah, somebody was going over the Bills secondary and they're like, they don't have their rookie Hairston, I think his name is. And then
yeah,
it's Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer. And it's like, those guys are 35 years old. Like,
yeah,
get the young guys going on them. They've got a good front seven. Now, Bosa, you wouldn't be surprised if he gets a strip sack or something. Greg Russo. I don't think Ed Oliver is playing. I could be wrong. And then I think his name's Matt Milano, good
yep.
linebacker. Who between the Texans, the Chargers, and the Bills, who are you hoping to draw? Do
Chargers,
you care?
just to obliterate
Yeah,
them, you
obviously,
know?
yeah.
Um, Bills were probably the least favorable one that I would wanna play just because Josh Allen is the X factor. CJ Stroud, you don't worry about him. You don't worry about Justin
We're
Herbert, 2 months
familiar with the
receivers.
Texans,
Yeah.
yeah.
And with Herbert, his tackles are out, and he nothing against Herbert. Hard to do that when both your tackles are out, so they've been struggling, plus they can't really
Mhm.
run the ball, so not worried about them. But the Bills, interesting. They have a good run game. Haven't really been able to throw the ball, it seems, so we are the best run defense in the league. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But Trevor is, to me, the X factor is our defense versus their run game, and then can Trevor keep doing what he's doing? And it's so
Dude,
exciting
yeah.
because early in the year when I was standing up for Trevor, I would always point back to that 2022 run of about 10 games where he was statistically the best quarterback in every single freaking
Yes.
category in the league for like a 10 or 12 game stretch. That's exactly what he's doing right now. He's top
Yeah,
2 or 3 in every single statistical category in the league. It's
yeah,
crazy how this guy plays when he gets into his mojo. And the thing is, I think back then, that was just him winging it. Now it's him getting confident within a system, which gives him that structure to keep it going for hopefully a decade, you know?
yeah. I think he's on, like, a Sam Darnold arc, but he didn't have to go anywhere to do it. It's
Yeah.
like you're seeing again, big dude, can make every throw in the playbook. I remember when we first drafted him, I watched his Elite 11 highlights, and the Elite 11 coaches were just, I mean, they couldn't get enough Trevor Lawrence, and they
No.
would literally bring him in to show everybody else how to throw certain routes at this camp. And I mean, and so you're getting just, he was the best forever, and then he gets the NFL, gets hit in the mouth and everything. But like you just said, 2, 3 years in, he had a 17-game stretch where I think he was like 15-4 with like ranking in the top 3 and everything. And then he got hurt against the
Yeah.
Bengals on Monday Night Football. And I feel like he's back. And like we were saying earlier with Antonio Johnson, Trayvon Walker, all the traits in the world, finally getting it upstairs. Like
Yeah.
the marriage of the two.
Scheme is important. Scheme is so incredible. Like, look at the NFL. Who's winning? They have good schemes. Like, the
It's
head
Sean
coach is
Payton. It's, yeah.
incredibly important. Incredibly important.
Head
It's
coach
insane.
is arguably underpaid. Not even arguably. They are
Yeah.
probably underpaid positions. If Trevor's making 55, what should Liam Cohen be making?
Yeah. I don't know. A lot. I'm sure he's making
50?
good.
Like, I'm sure he's doing well.
He's probably gonna have a contract renegotiation after this year, I'm sure, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy what he's doing. But if you look at the league, you look at the 49ers, you look at the Rams, you look at the Bills, you look at, Ben Johnson, what he's doing with the Bears. It's
Yeah.
these coaches who just are kind of these offensive gurus. And what you see is it's offensive gurus, but in old-fashioned football, in old-fashioned run the rock, play action, smash mouth football with some modern pass concepts mixed in. It's really cool to see modern guru brains, but with old school football. And I love the style of football that's being played right now. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. I think with us and the Bears, there's so many similarities. First thing they did when they got there, by the way, is overhaul the interior of the offensive line.
Yeah.
Bring in Hainsey, draft Monheim, bring in McCary, draft Wyatt Milam. We have the 2 tackles, and then you just bring in depth. And even in all these position rooms, like Eric Murray and Jordan Lewis for the DBs, you already had Foye and Devin. You already had all the veterans on the D line. The receivers, like we were talking about, is kind of that one group where we were like, it's all dudes who
Mhm.
are in their third, second year. And then the flip switch with Jacoby, and
Nuts.
um, I love it. It feels like modern football's in Jacksonville with guys with high standards, and it's the NFL, so anything could happen. So if we don't win the Super Bowl, fine. It's God. I won't be saying this if we do lose. I will be furious, and I will
Mhm.
be throwing things. But it feels different. It really does.
It feels different. It looks different. Just everything about it. And I've been thinking about that this week. Should we lose? Would I be upset? And I gotta
Yes.
say yes,
Yeah. Big time. Yeah.
just because of the momentum and how good we've proven to be able to be. And the Bills have some pretty big gaps in what they do. And if you look at us, we don't have a whole lot of gaps. We're top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense, amazing kicker, great
Oh,
coaches. I
yeah.
It's the playoffs, it's the NFL. They have Josh Allen. Stuff is crazy, but is this our year? Did we go on
Yeah.
a run to the Super Bowl?
I mean, if
Who are
we
you scared of? If we
I
beat Josh Allen, I'm not scared of anybody in the AFC. Nobody.
it's a hard ask to ask a team to beat Denver twice in Denver. That's a hard ask.
Bo Nix is
But
not it.
it wasn't like we beat them, we dog walked them. I
Yeah,
mean, we it was a 2
yeah.
score win. I mean, it wasn't close. And it's not like they weren't trying. They had the
Mhm.
1 seed on the line. They had the division still on the line. So, um,
Quarterbacks
yeah,
rise to the top. Quarterbacks rise
great.
to the top in the playoffs.
Yep.
Now, if we had a terrible defense, like if we were a 30th or a 25th ranked defense and then an elite offensive quarterback, it's like, but elite quarterback and elite defense, if we just keep doing what we're doing, it's gonna be fun. We have a chance
Yeah.
to really get after it in the playoffs.
What I'm hoping to see against the Bills is like, the kind of the same thing happened to the Chiefs, where when you're drafting 31, 32 for 5 of 6 years, and even that one year it was drafting 28, like you don't get your pick of the litter. It's harder to
Mhm.
form a roster with all these low draft picks, and the Bills were in the same bucket. Like the Bills were always drafting late 20s, and the Jaguars have been drafting a whole lot of top 15, top 10. And what I would like to see is just, can we just overwhelm them? Kind of I know they're going to be, it's a way harder game than like the Colts or the Titans, but can we overwhelm them early, kind of put it away?
Mhm.
I don't want a close game against Josh Allen late in the game. And I'm just putting this out there, by the way. We have Tony Romo on the call. He loves
He
Josh
does.
Allen. I already know he's going to piss me off during that
Oh,
game. It is going to be like Trevor Lawrence is going to throw for a touchdown. And he's going to be like, man, that was Josh Allen esque. Like he
yeah,
can't, he only compliments Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. It's crazy. But,
we'll see.
uh,
They have
dude,
to
it's going to
start.
be good.
If he does
hmm
this for another, if he does this through the playoffs and we're rolling into next year, they're going to have to start giving respect. And you're starting to finally see it across the
Dude,
media.
somebody asked, Rich Eisen today asked Liam Cohen about the whole respect thing. Like, everyone's really being pretty nice right now. And Liam Cohen goes, home underdog.
He's crazy.
He's crazy. He's a psychopath. I think he'd
Yes,
make AI of disrespect before he, like,
yes,
lets respect creep through. Like,
yeah.
should I go tweet some things and, like, get them fired up maybe? Like, should I
He's
go be
probably
like,
got some
Trevor kind of
burner accounts.
sucks?
It's like all these guys be like, yeah, pretty good for a small market. Just under
Right,
everybody's pictures. Trevor
right.
posts some
I'm gonna
ridiculous burner
I'm
account.
gonna buy a Russian bot farm to go flood them with disrespect. But yeah, no, Bills opened up as -1 favorites in
Crazy.
Jacksonville. I have no idea. So coin flip. It's basically a coin flip. I have no idea how this will go. I don't mind people showing the respect to Josh Allen if they were to like pick the Bills. I don't really have a problem
Mhm.
with that. But let me end with this, Quint, with a little fun fact. So Trevor Lawrence right now is third highest in MVP odds. So it's Stafford, Drake May, and Trevor Lawrence is number
Really?
three.
I didn't know that.
Really. Trevor Lawrence finished seventh in MVP
Oh,
voting that playoff year.
mhm.
So this will be Trevor Lawrence in 5 years, right? 5 years, 5 seasons, two finishes in top seven of MVP votings, one of them being top three.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
He's
cool.
he's already,
Kinda
like,
sick.
second all time in passing yards. He's obviously took the record for most touchdowns in a season. He's quietly just having a massively historic career for the Jaguars, right? We
Yeah,
haven't had much of else to compare it to, but 2 division titles in his 5 years. I think that's second most already, so
yeah,
he's just quietly being great, and if you look at the turmoil that's been around him for so long, we have the right pieces. Now it's like, "Let's go build, boys."
yeah.
My 8-month-old daughter is only gonna know good Jags, and that's pretty cool.
That's
Pretty cool.
amazing.
We'll
That's really
see.
something.
Yeah.
Alright, I lied. I'm gonna end on this. So, you'll see with players, like, I used to joke that, so one of my friends is a Dolphins fan, and after a loss one time, Tua was like, "I'm gonna go home and play board games with my wife and kids, and that's what really matters." And I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
the fans disagree. They don't think that's what matters. The fans would like you to win a football game." And, I saw, it was a quote, Josh Allen, after he got married, they were like, "What have you learned from your wife?" And he goes, "Maybe I am more than a football player." And I would be horrified if I was a fan. I would be like, "No, no, no. Just for a few years here, I need football number one, okay?" And did a flip switch with Trevor becoming a father. Like, because maybe some guys, it's like, there's more to life. Or did Trevor go like, wait, no, my kids need to think that I'm the freaking man. Like, I'm sick. Like, daddy, look at all your trophies. Like, I,
Yeah.
I wonder. It happens with fighters a lot. Once fighters become fathers, they go like, "Oh no, my kid needs to see me beating up another guy, not another guy beating me up." I wonder if that happened with Trevor. What do you think as a father of two?
I think for sure, because I think when you
Yeah,
hold that little kid, you just immediately think, "I need to be better." That's the only thing you say, and then if you're gonna be a better at one thing, you have to be better at all things, because the way you do one thing is how you do all things, so, long story short, yes, I think it definitely played a role.
I love that. Trevor.
Dad
Also,
magic.
Trevor, stop letting random people squat you in bars, please.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, please don't do that
What if
again.
she was a Bills fan?
Uh, What? Trevor.
Just think.
What if she has money on the Bills and she just did that? Anyway. Honestly, no. Anyway, all right. Quint, that was so fun. It feels so good. I mean, I can't
Love
believe it.
talking
It's
ball.
really hard. I can't wait to go to the office this week and I'm wearing Jags gear. I'm
Yeah.
It's so fun. I can't believe
Like,
this. Like, it's so
it's
fun.
amazing. W
It's amazing.
we're yeah, to speak in college coward terms, we are buttoned up. We show up, we
Yes.
beat the shit out of the teams we're supposed to beat the shit out of, and then we're competitive and win games that we're supposed to be competitive in and have a chance. Like, I think we were texting the other day, it's like, we're beating the crap out of teams. We've never
Yeah.
done that. We've
Oh, yeah.
never done it. People
Yeah.
are like, "Oh,
I
yeah,
think
it's
the
the
Hu
Jets." It's like, cool, who's the last person to beat the Jets up like that? Tom Brady.
Right.
Like,
I
Great teams just do that.
The Houston game, I think Coach Cohen goes, "I don't want just a 19-point lead, like, I need to, like we need to start stepping on necks and not
Mhm.
sitting on leads, and we need to go," and so guess what? We're dropping 40 plus on the Titans. We're not just doing 28-7, let's go home. No, 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 we're gonna bury this thing. Like, I love
It's
that. Let's hope
incredible.
for a good
Go
game. Go Jags. Let's beat the Bills. I might start doing songs like that one Colts guy does.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that was cute. It's cute.
All right,
Poor Colts.
folks, good night. Quint, sweet dreams. Tell the fam I say hey, and go Jags.
Peace.
Peace.